I want to take a few moments to talk about confidence intervals and what makes them wider versus narrower. Okay, so first let's start by talking about what is a confidence interval. A confidence interval is a point estimate. Okay, and that point estimate, it's just it's an estimate from your sample. Okay, so it could be sample mean, it could be a sample proportion, it could be a difference in sample means. Could be lots and lots of different things. Point is that there's you have obtained a single estimate from your sample, and what you don't know is the population parameter. Okay, so what you do is you construct an interval around that point estimate, and then you say, okay, well, I'm a certain percent confident that my estimate is somewhere in this, my population parameter is somewhere in this interval. Okay, so what does wider mean? Wider means a larger interval around that point estimate. And then narrower means a smaller interval around that point estimate. Okay, and there are three things that affect the width of a point estimate, or the width of a confidence interval. Sorry. The first is the confidence level. Okay, and first let's think about when we want suppose we want to think about what makes an interval wider. So wider would mean that I would have a larger confidence level. So more confidence. Okay. So for example, in the extreme example, 100% confidence interval, I'm 100% confident that the population parameter is somewhere on the number line. So the 100% confidence interval is negative infinity to infinity. Regardless of what you're doing, if I'm 100% confident, I need the entire number line. Okay, so this is like an extreme example to help you remember this. More confident, right? I am 100% confident that I'm somewhere on the number line. And then as I decrease confidence, I decrease the width or the closeness that I am to this point estimate. Okay, so when we think about what makes a confidence interval narrower, this would be less confidence level. Okay, so in an extreme example, a 0% confidence interval would just be the sample mean, like a very small interval limit as it goes to 0, right here on the point estimate. Okay, basically I'm 0% confident that instead of writing sample mean, let me write point estimate. Right, I'm 0% confident that the population parameter that I'm looking for is exactly equal to my point estimate. Okay, so an 80% confidence interval will be narrower than a 99% confidence interval. Okay, next is sample size. Okay, so let's think about what makes a confidence interval wider. Would I need more sample size or less sample size? Right, I would need less sample size. Basically, I'm less certain about that point estimate. So when I have a small sample size, I'm gonna need a wider interval to be the same level confident. Okay, so I'll need a small n for wider, and then for narrower, okay, is large n. Basically, when the sample size is very, very big, I'll need a narrower interval to be the same amount confident. Okay. Lastly is variability or sample variance or standard deviation, same thing. Okay. For wider intervals will have more variability, more sample variance, more variance, more variability, and narrower intervals will have less. Okay, my interval doesn't need to be as large. When I have less variance, I can have a smaller interval. When I have more variance, I'll need that larger interval to be the same amount confident.